Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. In this video we are going to take a look at the EZA for the physical Super Saiyan 2 Kefla unit that recently came to Dokkan Battle Global. So this is a pretty good EZA. It's buffed her Potara lead skill and it has also made it so that she raises her defense on her super attack. Pretty cool features, pretty nice overall. Obviously a nice strong buff for her. She also changes into key spheres to physical key spheres, gets attack and defense of 20% per physical key sphere obtained, with a medium chance of evading the enemy's attack. She will also gain an additional attack boost should she obtain 6 or more physical key spheres, which is pretty solid overall. It's not, an insane passive, but it's going to lead to some pretty good attack numbers, like really good attack numbers. In terms of Link, Super Saiyan, Battlefield Diva, Fused Fighter, Power Bestowed by God. Most of these pretty solid links overall. The one nice thing about Kefla is she is a red ticket unit, or you can get her with red tickets, which means she's a pretty nice pickup for players and new players when red tickets come out for the big celebrations. In terms of categories, she's pretty usable on all of her categories, mainly because she has some pretty good running mates in the form of the Strength Kefla, who's relatively good, the Transforming Strength Kefla, and of course, very decent number of Keflas, Kales, and all of those decent options. So let's take a look at how she performs. The first team we'll try her on is the Universe 6 team. Probably one of her strongest teams overall, but any team realistically where you can get her paired up with this Super Saiyan 2 Kefla, or the Strength Kefla I should say, is always going to end up being a very powerful running combination. It's going to be a very nice running mate for her, going to get some really good results for her, and yeah, just overall we should see some pretty decent numbers out of the two of them. So yeah, overall, I'm really excited for this EZA. I think she's going to be a very good offensive force, which I think is something, not that it's needed, but it's always great to have another offensive pairing for this Universe 6 team. She'll help out the Potara category, she'll be great on Pepe Girls, and her being a red ticket unit pretty much means that, she's fantastic for like a large variety of players, which I think is something that's truly spectacular and really helpful. Like overall, it's just really awesome stuff, and it's really gonna help her out. It's gonna help out the category, and it's just gonna do a lot of decent work. So I think that's something really great, and I think it's really awesome overall. So here we've got her. You can see before the orbs, not such great defense. After the orbs, 161,000 defense. Pretty good, I'd say. Really good starting point there. 161k defense. She hasn't gained much defense from links or anything, but remember, she has that medium chance of firing an additional super, which is helpful. And when firing that additional super, she will raise her defense. So she could potentially double raise her defense pretty much every single turn, which is something that's obviously super helpful and will help her in future when she's stacking that defense. So overall, really solid looking kit, and we saw there pretty good attack stat. Now we did have some support on the rotation, but she's a pretty malleable unit. Obviously with all these orb units, you can get 3 orbs or 2 orbs. She's not going to look that great, and that is just orb units. That's just how they function. That's how they work. There's no real way around that mechanism. That is by design. So there will be times where she is slightly lackluster. She can still possibly let you down in certain situations. So you do just need to be careful of that. But barring those situations where any orb-based unit is probably going to let you down, she's going to be pretty good, all the time. She's just really solid. She's reliable. She gets stuff done, she can do a lot of good work, and yeah, just for me, she's a very, very, very good unit. We'll see her here. This is possibly the best rotation we're gonna get. We obviously have, quite a few orbs on the table. That is one nice thing about running Vardos. You can get rainbow orbs, which does help. Rainbow orbs help because they just allow us to create more paths. We'll stick her in the second slot here. We've got her running with her best mate in the form of Kefla, Strength Kefla. You can see that they make a pretty potent pairing, 141k defense from the Strength Kefla. So if we grab a whole bunch of these orbs here, we won't get the attack boost, which is a little bit of a shame, but we're still going to be getting 8 orbs in total, which is a pretty decent amount. You can see there, nice 160k defense again, very, very good. So far so good, nothing really too much to complain about. She's been super solid, she's got a lot of work done, she's been super reliable, and you can see here some really good damage we'll see after this. So Kefla, this is the DFE Kefla, obviously pretty solid numbers. The evasion's also something that we haven't really seen, but it's something that is quite helpful. It is, a decent chance. It does help you evade. It does do a lot of good work. 2.6 million, very, very solid. Obviously, if you get the physical orb attack boost, that number does tend to skyrocket quite a bit. But you can see there double super attacks. And because of the fact that she has the medium chance of firing off an additional super attack, you can build her entirely into crit, which is something that's also really, really helpful and really, really good overall for the unit. Just means she has one direct build, allows her to maximize her damage. You could build her into additional, I guess, and possibly have her, triple raise her defense in a turn. But I think you'd be losing out on a lot more offensive power that she can provide, which I think is where you really want the unit to be sitting. So I think that's very, very important, and I think really, really good. So what I've done is, for this Potara showcase, what I've done is I've basically shown, or I'm going to show, how the Kefla units differ now through their EZAs. So we've got one Kefla that is EZA'd, and we're going to have another Kefla that is not EZA'd, and we're going to just compare the two of them and how they perform, which I think is, will be interesting to see. Obviously we lose a little bit on the leader skill, but it's not such an important thing to focus on. So here you can see 45k before we get a couple orbs. We're going to get 6 orbs, which is a decent amount again. And you can see there we're all the way up to 100k defense, which is obviously very, very good. So something, solid, a really solid amount of defense. We didn't get an excessive amount of orbs there, but we will raise our defense on our super, which is something fantastic and really, really helpful. And overall just really, really good. Decent damage as well. We can see here some solid damage numbers, 2 million, which is really, really good again. Solid stats, nothing crazy. We didn't get an insane amount of orbs. We also didn't get the physical orb boost, but overall still very solid, and a more, I would say, honest representation of orbs, without manipulating the orbs in any way, sense or form. Here's the non-EZA'd Kefla, with way more orbs and all physical orbs, and you can see there she managed to get around about the same defense but with almost double the orbs, which is not great to get the exact same defense. Clearly a bit of an issue there. And then also damage numbers still below the EZA version. Now, one of that will be that will partly be because of the passive, but it will also be because of the stats. The actual stats that exist will also be quite different, so it is just something to be aware of. But yeah, overall pretty interesting just to see the difference between the units. Obviously, the EZA version should be better and will be better. We can see here on this turn, we're sitting with way more defense, which is just fantastic. But yeah, the EZA version obviously should be better, but it is sometimes interesting to see the difference between the units, and I think that's something that's really like interesting to see, and just kind of makes things a lot more interesting overall, and a lot like it's more fun to compare the units, I think. So yeah, we've seen some pretty good numbers from her. We've seen a pretty good performance, especially offensively. Super duper solid as a unit. And yeah, I just think overall, she's done a really great job. The EZA has been good. Still is dependent on orbs, always kind of will be. It's not really something that you can phase out of orb units. It's the same with Int Gohan. Like, they gave the Ella Int Gohan his EZA. He's still highly dependent on orbs to really be an amazing unit. And that's just something you can't really change. Because of the nature of the units, because if you do eliminate the orb element, or you give them too big a base and then keep the orb element, then they can kind of end up incredibly broken, like broken to the point in that you can't actually use them anymore, or they're just not going to be super viable for the game and its long-term health. So yeah, overall pretty good EZA. I think the fact that she's very usable now, the fact that she's usable at all, the fact that they also do give her out with red tickets obviously did play into their kind of thoughts that they had for this EZA. So I can't really say like, okay, they definitely wanted to break a unit that people could so easily get, which is obviously something to keep in mind as well. We have the full Link suite here, 112k defense on the strength, 145k defense on the strength Kefla, 280,000 on the physical Kefla, and yeah, just very impressive overall. We'll see 4.7 million attack stat, really good, high chance of critting, can follow up with another attack stat, and just yeah, awesome stuff. I mean, third turn out, 280k defense, very good, 4.7 million attack stat, medium chance of evasion, just honestly a very good EZA. So super happy with that. We'll take a look at her linking partners and everything now, and then we'll just see where we can go to from there. So in terms of her links, pretty straightforward as a unit. Super Saiyan, solid common link for Saiyan units, Battlefield Diva for the Pepper Gals team, Fused Fighter, great for Patara units, Power Bestowed by God, same thing, pretty solid for Patara units. Warriors of Universe 6 and Tournament of Power, very good for her on USS teams or Universe 6 teams. And finally, obviously, Shattering the Limit, great for Super Saiyan 2 units. So in terms of her best linking partners, if we just want to look at things like Fused Fighter and Super Saiyan, and obviously Power Bestowed by God, we'll get some decent options. These are mainly Patara team units, and you can see she's got a couple decent options. These aren't going to be incredible. Kefla, the strength Kefla, will also fall under here. She's just not being shown because obviously she doesn't have Super Saiyan in her base form. A lot of good units here. 3 links is great. Fused Fighter is a key link, so that's awesome. Super Saiyan's a great link. Power Bestowed by God is a great offensive link. So overall, pretty solid options. Obviously not perfect options for her, but it does mean that if you don't have the strength Kefla, you still have some pretty solid units, with which you can run this Kefla, which I think is, very important. And considering she's a Patara category lead, obviously does help her out quite a bit. If we remove Power Bestowed by God, we get a couple more options. These will be better on the time limit / final trump card category, units like the SS4 Gogeta and things like that. Although obviously not perfect linking partners, the fact that they can link at all is somewhat helpful, and will just allow them to at least function together. Same with these Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, they do at least share Shattering the Limit as well. So there are some valuable options here in terms of linking partners for just some like different teams and different team constructions. Then if we want to avoid the Potara side of things, we can obviously just kind of build her down the down the Super Saiyan 2 side of things, or the Universe 6 Saiyan side of things. And yeah, there's plenty of options there. Tournament Power, Warriors of Universe 6, so many options. Most of them will have Super Saiyans as well. There's the Strength Kefla, who's fantastic. So yeah, she's just got plenty of options on whichever team she can, and she does have a very good running partner on all of those teams. So that's just something spectacular for her, and overall just really good for the unit. But with that being said, you know, her number one partner is going to be the Strength Kefla. So that's going to be your number one choice. When she transforms, we saw she had 6 links shared with her. Very, very powerful combination. Strength Kefla is still solid enough in the meta that you can run the two of them together. So yeah, very powerful combo that we've now inherited. But that's going to be it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did. And of course, let me know what you think about the physical Super Saiyan 2 Kefla EZA. Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Have you used it, or have you done it yet? Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, stay safe, take care, and bye.